Braveheart Workshops, inspiring connection. Restore. Dream. Getaway experiences. Love, live, and laugh. With Braveheart Workshops. Live now with Jill Reynolds.
The Connection Show. Restore, renew, and reconnect. Sponsored by Braveheart Workshops, live with Jill Reynolds. And joining me today on the show is Dorothy Ross. Welcome to the show, Dorothy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we are just so blessed to have you. And I would love the audience to know a little bit about you. So I'm going to read your bio to them, Dorothy. Dorothy is a healthy lifestyle consultant for women around the globe, an international public speaker, a best-selling author, a virtual event consultant, a legal service provider, and a coach. Dorothy inspires clients to recognize what stops them from being the best version of themselves. Her leadership skills show women how to rediscover their real purpose. Dorothy's zone of genius illuminates her clients' gifts and abilities so they can live a more meaningful life and rekindle the joy and prosperity they deserve. Dorothy has leveraged her wisdom in overcoming the challenges that come with living life. Dorothy will show you how to take the past pain and use them as fuel that ignites you to begin a new life. Dorothy's worked 33 years in the corporate arena, and she pastors and mentors broken lives. Dorothy's knowledge of wellness has also positioned her as a successful representative with Melaleuca for 15 years in wellness. Well, what an amazing bio you have, Dorothy, and a rich, rich life.
Yes. I have nothing to complain about. I'm telling you, God has really been good to me. And I'm just glad that I'm able to actually give back. So a lot of what I've gone through and dealt with in life, work, business, and ministry, I share with some of my clients and other women that I come in contact with.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, what I love to do on our show, the Connection Show, Dorothy, is connect dots for the audience to know more about who you are personally. So, what we do is we usually ask you to take us down memory lane with little Dorothy growing up. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up and what life was like for you, and then what led you towards the direction you're in today, Dorothy.
I grew up in Chicago. Uh, it's a total of seven of us siblings. Okay, my mom was a single mom, but I've always been one that was busy and doing things, taking care of my sisters and brothers. Now, I'm not the oldest, but that task fell on me that as my mom worked, I went to school, came home, made sure that my sisters and brothers had eaten and the whole 9 yards. And as I got older, I made a decision based on something that happened. I remember going to school when I was about 12 years old, and I had a hole in the bottom of my shoe. I had to put cardboard in my shoe. And I had told my mom that I needed a new pair of shoes. And when she was able to get those new shoes, what she did was during my growing up time, girls wore penny loafers and the black and white Oxfords, but so did boys. So there were basically only two kind of shoes that we wore. She actually bought my brother a brand new pair of penny loafers, and she gave me the black and white Oxfords that he already had. And I was a little teetotal about it. I didn't like it at all. So I made a promise to myself that when I got old enough that I would never ask anybody for anything. So I started working like when I was 12 years old. I went to, if you were in school, you had to go downtown and get a permit to go to work. I went down there anyway, even though I wasn't old enough. And they were passing them out. They had one left. And I was jumping up and hollering, and the lady put it in my hand. She never asked me how old. I didn't need all of that. All I needed was permission from the city of Chicago that I could get a job. So, of course, I started working then. And from there, I went from job to job because I never really knew what it was that I wanted to venture into. So, as an adult, I became a store manager for Sherwin-Williams Paint Company. I worked there for 33 years and I
Wow.
retired. So, with that company, I started out as an assistant. No, I started out as a commission salesperson. That's how I started. And I moved from there to assistant manager. From assistant manager, I went to being a sales rep. From a sales rep, I went to commercial store manager because I was a retail store manager. So I started managing a commercial store, and from there to operations manager with the company, and that's how I retired. Now, for over 15, close to 20 years, there were no other women in Illinois that were managing stores. It was just me. So the women that did come into the company, they left. They never stayed in the company. I did. And working there, I met a lot of course, I've met a lot of men, of course. So I started, there was one group of men that were rehabbing the East Side where President Obama has his home at. And they would always asking me to be a part of their group, but I was afraid. I was afraid to step out and commit to that. But later on, years later, I was like $75,000 in debt,
Mm.
and I wanted to get out. So I took a credit card. I spent about $20,000 learning how to buy property, how to rehab property, how to put a staff together, the how to buy property with no money down. I did all of that, and then finally I found a building and that I wanted. And when I called, they said they wanted $220,000. It was a 6 unit. Now, during that time, that was it was high, but that was a great price for a 6 unit. And I said, oh, well, I can't do that one. In the meantime, I was saving up money. I was still saving up money. I found this bank that allowed me to put money in, borrow on that money that I had in there, but I never spent the money I borrowed. I would always put it into another account. So I saved up something like about $35,000. A year later, I called, the building was still vacant. I called back, asked the guy what was the price on it, and he said, the client has asked me to say, just give us a price that you're willing to pay. I said $30,000. And he said, when can you sign the contract?
And it was going to be 230 and he went to 30?
Right, right,
Wow.
right.
That's funny because my husband and I built a home in Branson, Missouri, and they were asking, I think, 45,000 for our lot that we're at. And we just thought, we're just going to come in and ask them if they'll take 15, and they said yes, and we were like, what? Because it was in a trust and the kids just wanted out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Some amazing things when you don't get in a hurry and you just trust and believe. I was believing and trusting in God to walk me through this process. And actually, and I call Mr. Banks. I'll never forget him. Mr. Banks is the one that wanted me to join the group. It was six older men. They were old enough to be my dad at that time, and I called him and said, "Hey, I got a building. I want to buy it. Can you come by and take a look at it?" He said, "Yeah, I can." He came with one of those old fashioned station wagons that had that wooden trim all around it. And guys started getting out. I didn't know when they were going to stop getting out. It was like six of them, but they walked that building for me. They walked that building. They told me offer him 50,000. They didn't know that I had already bought it for 30. I didn't tell him that. And he walked me through and told me what I needed to do first, what my attention was. The building had been a drug building, and they had been shooting in the building and what have you. So the first thing I had to do was clean it out. I did all of that, and then finally I found out I wasn't a landlord. So of course, I got the building filled up with paying tenants, and then I put it up for sale, and I sold it for $146,000.
And you got your $75,000 of credit card debt paid
I
off.
got everything paid off, and the rest of it I put into a retirement fund for whenever I got ready to retire. And
How old were you back then, Dorothy, when all this occurred? About.
it's probably been about 20 years ago. So I was in my 50s. I was in my 50s.
So
Um,
what changed then? Just out of curiosity. So what changed within yourself with money management after that occurred and you then found yourself debt free?
I started buying more property. I started buying more property. I started rehabbing, and I put together my own construction team. But then because I was doing it, I started my own construction company, which later I sold. Then I started a cleaning company, and I found out that's really not what I wanted to do. So I gave that to my sister because she loved it, to let her do it. And God, I've done so many. I had a travel agent for about 15 years because I wanted to travel. So I got a chance to travel for little or no money, go on cruises, and I love that. So I've always had a 9 to 5. I wanted the stability of having that 9 to 5, but I also made sure that I was always doing something on the side to earn extra income. I wanted my children in Catholic school. I wanted them to have a great education. I wanted to put money away for them for college or what have you. So I had to learn how to manage money and how to invest. I started learning how to invest and what to invest in, how to increase my giving on the job into my retirement pension plan and the stock purchase plan that they had, so that I wanted to make sure that when I retired, I didn't have to go back to work unless that's what I chose to do. And I
So
did.
so with that, as you transition, and
Mhm.
I know this a little bit about you, that you're a God person and trust in God. And so when this all occurred, then did you find yourself, when the debt was paid off, did you find yourself more diligent about doing the 10 10 and 80 rule of financial investing, the 10% to God, the 10% to savings, and then 80% went to paying bills?
Well, yeah, but not quite that way.
Okay. Because I've
Uh,
always heard that's the way to really stay out of debt, is when you do the 10 10 and 10. 10%
yeah,
to, yeah.
it actually is. I am gonna always, to the day I lay down, close my eyes, I'm gonna always pay my tithes. I have a saying, if you have a need, plant a seed. So not only do I pay my tithes, I back then I would seed into ministries that were doing what I wanted. If a ministry was building something, I see, and that's the season I was in, I seeded into it. Not only, and I paid my tithes where I was fed at, that's in my church, but then I planted special seeds other places. And I always believe that when you give back to God what belongs to God, then He'll bless you with what you need at the moment that you need it. That's just me. And I'm not real churchy or godly. I am a pastor, but I love what the word says, and it tells us to try the word by the word. So the job I had, I'll share with you quickly. The job I had that job because God gave me that job. And every time I got into trouble or things got a little rough for me, I would always remind myself and then go back and remind God of how He promised me that job was mine and nobody could take it away from me. I would have to literally give it away in order for me to lose it. And that's what I would say for years. I would say that. And the Lord did. The Lord blessed me. I wanted a car, and I tied my retirement fund up where I couldn't tap into it. So I couldn't take money out of it to do anything with. That's the way I wanted it. So I asked the Lord, I was tired of going to back alley mechanics to fix my car. I wanted a new car. And I wasn't sure what to do or how to go about doing it. And I just started praying about it. And the Lord woke me up one morning and said, "Go get your car." And I got up, got ready. I went to the suburbs. I went to the Jeep dealership. I found the truck that I wanted. Now, I had already been out looking. I found the young man that was really, really kind to me while I was looking and searching, had him to set everything up. And I got the car, got the note that I wanted and everything. They were asking me to put down, I think like $2,000. I think I put down $500 for it. But I asked the Lord this: I don't ever want to have to spend a lot of money on a broken car. I want to be able to buy a brand new car every 7 years and pay cash for it. That's what I want to do. And the
Mhm.
Lord has actually done that for me.
Yeah, that's great. That's such a great story because it does. As the blessings come when we're obedient and when we follow. And I am not like this, like you said, you believe in God, and in the front of my Bible it says the Bible says it, I believe it, and that settles it. It's like, you know what? There's nothing else to say. So, if you say, are you a Bible belting Christian? Yeah, I just believe what the Word of God says, and that kind of settles it. And I too, Dorothy, when I was a single, never married mom for 17 years, and same as you, God, my commissions would come on sometimes right to the penny of what my bills were. And I would go out to the business world, and I would pray and ask God to show me what clients needed my services. And if the Lord felt that the client needed it, they would buy from me. And when the commissions checks came in, they would come in to right to the amount of money I needed to stay current on my bills. And so it's amazing when you do put that faith in to God versus yourself and other men and women being your God, that things really do come together. So you've done this unbelievable journey of entrepreneurship. So tell us a little bit about the healthy lifestyle consulting that you're doing and what that entails.
Well, when I started going through menopause and midlife around about the same time, and I'm telling you, they both kicked my butt. They had me to a point where I was crying for no reason. Sometimes I was happy. I would have a laughing spasm about something I thought about, and but mostly I was falling into a depressed state because I just didn't, I knew something was wrong and I just couldn't find any help anywhere.
And how
My
old were you at that point?
I was in my 40s. I was like
Wow.
about, well, probably about 47,
Hmm.
about 47. And I had talked to my doctor, and the doctor said, well, we can't give you any hormones or anything like that. We're afraid that if we do, you may get cancer because I had active tissues.
Hmm.
But after a while, I was at a point where I would literally leave work and I didn't even remember the drive home when I got home. And the I remember coming into the house and I was standing at the head of the bed. And I really can't tell this story without breaking down. So I won't finish that one. But I decided that I met a young lady that out of the blue, I was sitting in the parking lot of the shopping center and I was crying and I decided I was going to go in. I didn't want to go home. I wanted to, I went in, ordered me some coffee and I was going to get a sandwich and I was sitting there and she walked in and sit down at the table. And no, she walked in and she asked me, could she sit down at the table? And I kind of looked around the restaurant because all the seats weren't taken, you know. I'm like, what, you know,
And,
but
and an angel showed up that wanted to sit with you.
so yeah, I told her, yeah, fine, you can sit down. And she, you know, and we talked. And I shared with her what was going on with me. And that's something I don't really, I started sharing when I became a coach, but before I didn't share my personal life with anyone. And she said, Dorothy, I can help you if you will allow me to. I can help walk you through this process. And she said, yeah. And one of the things she did was she introduced me to Melaleuca, the wellness company. That's why, man, you know, today I'm still with that same company. That and she talked to me. Now she did coach me. We went through a program that she had, and she gave me the Melaleuca book. Go in it, and then she told me about the supplements I want you to try and what have you. And I started. I read. I did my due diligence, and then I read up on all of the stuff. I started taking some of the supplements out of that book. Melaleuca says 90 days things should turn around. I can't tell you exactly when. All I know is I realized what I was going through was it wasn't there anymore. I was at a point where I just wanted to walk away from life and never turn around. I didn't, you know, family, work. I didn't care. That's just that's the air that I had around me. It had, you know, it had really just taken control of me. But going through her program and using the supplements, I went to trainings with Melaleuca to learn more about them, the program, and all of the things. And then I asked her to teach me how to do what you're doing. I want to help other women. I said, I don't ever want any woman to go through and feel like I felt. I said, I want to help women. And that's exactly what she did. So I started now, healthy lifestyle consultant does not mean that I am trying to control anybody's weight. That's not it. Healthy lifestyle consultant means that I am involved in various parts of your life to help you. If it is a weight problem that you're going through, I teach you how to manage your weight, not how to lose weight, but how to manage what you already have so that you can stay the same or you can at some point in time make a decision that you want to lose it. I
I want to applaud you on your wording. I want to applaud you and pause you because I myself am recovered for close to 6 years from eating disorders. And nothing drives me more crazy than these people who come out of the closets and say they're going to consult you on weight loss because to me, there's a program out there, an organization, Dorothy, called Health at Every Size. And, you know, if a person chooses that they want weight loss, then that's one story. But for programs to constantly come out and say, we want to, well, our program is going to help you with losing weight, losing weight, losing weight, and then the focus becomes on the weight versus what's underneath the weight, which is always emotional pain of some
Mhm.
sort. And so I really applaud you the way you just said that, that you consult people on health because it's not always about size. And, we live in such a world with body image issues that if we can focus more on health and wellness than what's your size, I think that the world would feel so much healthier, both emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I say, yeah, I mean, I could tell you tons and tons of programs for weight loss, diet programs where you could lose weight. And because I've tried them, but the problem with this is I'm trying to help women to change the lifestyle of their eating, not change what you're eating, but change when you eat, change how you prepare your meals. If you love fried chicken, then you're going to eat fried chicken. But we're going to talk about how you can make fried chicken in the oven and not in the grease. So that's what I say when I say manage. But everybody doesn't have a problem with wanting to lose weight. And then I learned how to organize my clothes so that I look good in the clothes that I wear, regardless of the size. So I want women, when they pass by the mirror, I want them to look back and say, girl, you got this. I don't want them walking by the mirror and then throwing a sheet over it because they don't want to see what's looking back at them.
That's
And,
awesome. I love this. We will definitely talk more because I think that this is a great topic. And I'm actually, it's funny that we're speaking on this because, Dorothy, I started Braveheart workshops doing uh, drama therapy workshop retreats for people to unburden the burdens in their life. And it's with a world renowned drama therapist who is a specialist in embodiment and how embodiment of our emotional pain holds on to weight and other things in our life, holds on to procrastination, busyness, perfectionism, things, the burdens in our life. And I just had a vision this morning that our good friend Patricia's doing her live events, and I just thought, I know I have to start my live events, and I felt like God was telling me, reach out to Laura to see if she'll do an embodiment health series where people can share their stories. And so I'm waiting to hear back from her to see if she'd be willing to do a live event because she's amazing and really like focus, have a live event that pertains to this health at every size and lifestyle and the story behind it. With the time remaining, I'd love for the audience to know about your new venture, the Porch Talk. If you
oh,
could share with us a little bit about Porch Talk, if you wouldn't mind.
yeah, well, Porch Talk Live came about. I was just reminiscing with myself and thinking about old times, and I was thinking about Porch Talk is about the girls that gather together in our yesteryears, and how no problem was too big or too small. That when you got with your girl, man, you could solve it. It was no problem. It's about the promises we made to ourselves or the dreams that we had back then, and how does all of that play out with you? Um, have they stayed? Have you any regrets about those promises? To make a promise to yourself and not to fulfill it in your life, it's a heavy load to carry. So carrying a heavy load from childhood to adult, it's very toxic to me. So did you have to pivot and change because of life circumstances as far as that's concerned? Or did you venture into something similar to what you promised yourself? And we even talk about, have you reconciled all that you need to with the little girl on the inside of you from yesteryears? So we do a little laughing and talking, and we just go back. Everybody has experienced some things when we were either in grammar school or high school or college, but they just didn't play out the same in all of our lives. And that's kind of what Porch to Talk is all about. So I'm doing that weekly. Then
When is that, Dorothy?
it's every Friday at 12 noon Central on
Wow.
Facebook at Women Rocking Life Network.
We're okay. Women rocking. I'll definitely put that. So I have your that Facebook page. Yeah, Women Rocking Life. Yeah, I'll have that. So I'll list that on the bio because that's amazing. And it kind of reminisces with me, Dorothy, that growing up, I too am from the Chicagoland area. I grew up in North Lake, Illinois, and then we moved to. I went to Elk Grove High School in Illinois, and then I ended up later in life being in Arlington Heights and Algonquin. But my 19, and you can relate to this, I'm sure. 1972 is when I graduated high school, and the first place, guess where I go? The minute I graduate, being raised in Chicago, you get a kick out of this. I had never really gone to the city hardly at all as a child growing up. And growing up in the white suburbs, I'm going to just say that with parentheses. I don't recall ever going to school with a black person, some Hispanics, some that was about it. Maybe a few Hispanics, but not very multicultural is what I'm getting at. So the day I turned 18, Dorothy, I packed my bags and I moved to Chicago, and I end up in Old Town in 1972.
Wow.
And I believe it or not, I meet this girl at an emergency room with a friend of ours. We didn't know each other, and she needed a roommate and said, "Do you need a place to live?" I said, "Yeah, I just wanted to leave home." So she said, "Well, there's a house for rent that I'm going to rent with these two guys, and we could split a bedroom together and keep the cost down. Would you like to be our roommate?" I said, "Sure." Didn't know her for Adam. And so who did I end up moving in with? But a big, like a 6'4", gorgeous black male probation officer, a gay white Caucasian male, and Kathy was a Playboy bunny, and I was a Holiday Inn Central reservationist. So can you imagine probation officer, cab driver, Playboy bunny, hotel reservationist? You cannot even begin. Porch talk, we could talk about this for 5 years. You can't believe the stories behind that. And so I'm sharing this because out of all the years growing up, I don't recall ever connecting with anybody, of any of my friends, ever sharing with them about the abuse going on in my home. I don't
Mm,
remember ever sitting there talking about the physical, emotional, or sexual abuse. I just kind of did life and really did surface talk. So I think what I love about the possibilities that could occur with porch talk is when and if the people coming on can become more transparent and really be able to share who they truly are. I'm also doing a show called Connection Circles, and that's my dream as well, is that we can start having more community of being more vulnerable and authentic than having to hide behind our masks and just do surface relationships.
yeah, I think mostly everyone is doing business, okay?
In
But
in porch talk,
no, no,
oh,
no.
everybody, yeah, a lot of people are
About
doing business.
online. online,
Yeah.
online.
And I just want something different, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm excited about Porch Talk because I know that we've gotten so heavy laden down with business and with family drama that we've actually forgotten how to laugh and how to have fun, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And that's what Porch Talk is all about. But just wait, here we go. Quarterly, I am going to do a Porch Talk family reunion where it's open house. The platform will hold 100 people, and you can come and share, and we're just going to laugh and talk and party. Have some music, maybe have some singers, have some people in comedy, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to share stories and we're just going to enjoy ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait until I get that all put together.
Well, I'm definitely going to be a part of it because when I would do my retreats with Dr. Laura Wood, Dorothy, she's trained in improv, and we would always mirror some improv in between the heaviness of releasing burdens in your life. Because when you're doing intensive burden release work and releasing that pain that may be stuck in your body that needs to be to come out in order to heal your body fully from the inside and out, you need to have that balance with laughter. And
Oh,
so
God.
I
Yeah.
have just come to be such an advocate for improv. I love it. I love it. I just think that it's so imperative to just have fun. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely keep you on my calendar. So what I'd love to do now is just to show people Dorothy's bio. So let me put it on the screen here. This is how you can reach her. It does have the Facebook group she just mentioned, the Women Rocking Life Together. And so this will be on the YouTube channel as well and on my website so that you can find Dorothy and reach out to her for those Friday, 12 noon Central Standard Time Porch Talk Live. So Dorothy, that's just amazing. And in closing today, Dorothy, I'd just like to ask you a couple personal questions here too. Um, in the Connection Show, our couple of 3 words we love to use to inspire connection is restore, renew, and reconnect. The word restore, Dorothy, means to bring back to a previous situation or to reinstate. What would you like to restore in 2021?
Um, I think more or less relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, we get busy and we're all about the money, 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 money. Okay, but I am about building a community that has a relationship where that we become family, not just a Facebook family, but a family that we can come to when we need help.
Yes, I totally agree. Totally. Renew. Renew means to resume after an interruption. What would you like to renew?
Oh boy, I would like to renew my and going live, uh, face to face. I would love to in 2021 renew relationships with people that wanted to come to Chicago to hang out with me for a weekend. I would love to renew that that season.
Awesome. And reconnect. Reconnect means to reestablish a bond of communication or emotions. So reconnect.
I would love to reconnect with probably some old friends that I haven't connected with in a long time. Me, just like everybody else, I'm just beginning to realize that it's not so much about business and family that gets you through the day or the week or the year. It's when I can pick up the phone and I can call a sister or a brother and have a short talk. Sometimes we're so overwhelmed and tied up that we need something different to do. So
Awesome. And then last but not least, what's one fun fact about you, Dorothy?
I love to eat.
And you like to cook too, don't you?
I love to cook. I
Uh,
love to cook. Yes, I do. I
uh,
do. What I love is when I have three sons. I have one adopted son, and then I have eight grandsons. So I love it when they all come home and gather around. And when they come, they bring food, and they're like, we're going to put this together. And mom, you cook this, you cook that. And we just laugh and talk and have a good time.
well, since you're into that healthy lifestyle consultant, I guess we'll have to have one porch talk cooking class with Dorothy. We need to have Dorothy showing us a healthy recipe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would definitely invite some people in. Maybe I'll do that in the summer when the summer comes.
Yeah,
I'll invite them
do a porch talk
porch talk.
barbecue with Dorothy or something. That'll be fun. That'd be fun. Well, Dorothy, it's just been a privilege getting to know you better. I know that we've been in some Facebook groups, but we've never had a chance to really chat. So this has been just so lovely with the Connection Circle and the Connection Show. And I'm just looking forward to so many beautiful things together. One of my dreams, Dorothy, is once people start to feel more safe and the abilities to gather again in larger groups. My hope is that as these porch talk lives and these connection circles develop, that we can come together maybe on one Zoom and brainstorm and say, okay, girls, okay, girls, maybe guys too. In my connection circle, I invite men because I feel like men are being left out lately and they kind of need to connect too. So I invite men. But I'm looking forward then to coming together and saying, okay, guys, I've got some really cool venues. Where do we want to go? And then we'll all go together and we'll just have this huge connection gathering in person where we could just like go either, if we want to do local, we'll do a weekend. If we want to go traveling, we can do 7 days. Because this here, Dorothy, this here is actually my backyard. This isn't staged. This is truly my backyard in Branson, Missouri, the subdivision I live in. And they have 3 outdoor pools, sand volleyball, tennis, these lodges, lakes for catch and release. I'm on a golf course. And so what a great place. And Branson's only 8 hours from Chicago where we can just have fun and go to shows. I don't know if you know Branson, but Branson is like the Bible Belt like Vegas with all the shows. So we could have a good old time here in Branson.
I would love that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone, and we look forward to you connecting with us twice a month on the Connection Circle. And please reach out to Dorothy and join her for Porch Talk Live. Thanks so much again, Dorothy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye now. Thanks for joining us on The Connection Show. Let's connect now. We can dream together to renew, restore, and reconnect with wellness in our life and community. To enhance connection, join us in the Zoom Connection Gathering Tribe on Wednesday evenings. The Zoom Connection Gathering Tribe is an easy and practical way for everyone to meet up, gather, and feel welcomed and accepted. To join us, go to braveheartworkshops.com. Then click on the podcast tab and the Zoom Connection Tribe tab. On that page, go to the Facebook page called The Connection Show Gathering Tribe and register to join our Facebook group. We post secure passwords each week in the group so you can log in safely. We meet on Wednesday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for 1.5 hours with great topics, laughter, and connection. See you on Wednesday evenings. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.